There was this one moment a few years ago when I was going through a really rough time, and I didn't even have to say anything. My friend just showed up. She knocked on my door with food, sat down next to me on the couch, and didn't say a word. She just stayed. And honestly, that moment changed the way I think about friendship forever. Hey everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Real English. I'm Laura.
And I am Eric, the podcast where we have real, everyday conversations to help you improve your English naturally. No textbooks, no boring grammar drills, just, real talk.
Exactly. And today's episode is a really special one, I think, because we're talking about something that's kind of universal. It doesn't matter where you're from or what language you speak. Today, we're asking what actually makes a good friend?
Right. And it's one of those topics that sounds simple on the surface, but the more you dig into it, the more interesting it gets. Like, what do you actually look for in a friend? What makes you think, okay, this person is the real deal?
Yeah, totally. And we'll also be looking at some really useful English vocabulary along the way. So if you're learning at a B1 or B2 level, this episode is kind of perfect for you. We'll highlight words and phrases as we go, nice and naturally.
So, Laura, let's just dive right in. If someone asked you, what's the number one quality of a good friend? What would you say?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, there are so many things, right? But if I really had to pick just one, I'd say loyalty. Like being loyal. That's the word, loyal. It means you stand by someone no matter what. You don't disappear when things get hard. You stay.
Yeah, loyalty. That's such a strong word, actually.
It really is. And I think a lot of people confuse being friendly with being a good friend? Like someone can be really fun to hang out with, really easy to talk to, but that doesn't automatically mean they're loyal. Loyalty is kind of deeper than that.
That's such a good point. Yeah. I think for me, honestly, the quality I value most is reliability. Being reliable. That means if you say you're going to do something, you do it. If you say you'll be there, you show up.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's sort of where trust comes in, right? Trust is another massive one. A good friend is someone you can trust, which means you can share things with them, personal things, and you know it's safe. They're not going to go tell everyone.
Right, exactly. And there's a really useful phrase in English for that. You can say someone is trustworthy. Trustworthy. It means they deserve your trust. They've earned it. It's like reliable and honest all rolled into one word.
I love that word, trustworthy. Yeah. And speaking of honesty, what do you think about that? Because I think honesty is actually one of the trickier qualities in a friendship. Like, do you always want a friend who tells you the truth?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. And honestly, yes and no, right? Like, I want a friend who's honest with me, but there's a difference between being honest and being harsh. You know what I mean?
Totally, yeah.
Like, a good friend tells you the truth, but they do it with kindness. There's actually a phrase for this being diplomatically honest. Or you could say they're honest but tactful. Tactful means you choose your words carefully so you don't hurt someone unnecessarily.
Tactful. That's such a great word. I think I need more tactful people in my life, honestly.
So let's talk about another quality that I think is super underrated being a good listener, like actually listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up because I think being a good listener is actually one of the hardest things to do. Like real listening, where you're fully present. You're not on your phone, you're not thinking about your own problems, you're just there, fully there for the other person.
Exactly, yeah. And in English, we sometimes say someone is a good shoulder to lean on. That's a nice idiom, a shoulder to lean on. It means someone you can go to when you need emotional support, when you need to vent or cry or just talk things through. And sometimes people don't want solutions, they just want to feel heard.
Exactly. And that's actually a really important phrase to feel heard. It means someone paid attention to what you said. They acknowledged your feelings. They validated you. Validated is another great B2 word, by the way. To validate someone means to make them feel that their feelings or opinions are understood and accepted.
Validated, yeah. And the opposite of that is feeling dismissed, like someone just brushes off what you're saying. That can really damage a friendship, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so I want to talk about this next one because I think it's maybe the most important of all. Showing up in tough times, like being there for someone when things get really hard.
Yeah, this is the one that kind of separates real friends from casual acquaintances, right? An acquaintance, by the way, for our learners, is someone you know but not very closely, like a coworker you say hi to or someone from your class. It's different from a close friend.
Right, good distinction. And I think when times get tough, you really find out who your real friends are. There's actually a saying in English: a friend in need is a friend indeed. It means the people who help you when you're struggling are your true friends, not just the ones who are around when everything's fun.
Totally. And you know what? Let's shift a little and talk about some of the challenges in friendship. Because I think it's really important to acknowledge that keeping a friendship alive isn't always easy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think one of the biggest challenges is distance, right? Like when a friend moves away or you both kind of move on with your lives and you stop seeing each other as often.
Yeah, and there's a really natural and common phrase for that: drifting apart. You drift apart. It means the friendship kind of slowly fades. Not because of a big fight or anything dramatic, just life gets in the way. You get busy, you have different schedules, different priorities, and before you know it, you haven't spoken in months.
Right. And I think that's why you have to be intentional about it. Like you make a conscious effort to check in on someone. Check in is a phrasal verb, by the way. To check in on someone means to contact them to see how they're doing, like sending a quick message saying, "Hey, I was thinking about you. How are things?"
Right. And that can mean so much. Like just knowing that someone thought of you, even a short message can really make someone's day. It's such a small effort, but it shows you care.
Totally. Okay, so what about conflict? Because that's another big challenge in friendships. Like, what happens when you and a friend actually fall out?
Oh, good one. Fall out. Another really useful phrasal verb. To fall out with someone means to have an argument or a disagreement serious enough that it damages the friendship. And I think this happens to almost everyone at some point, right?
Definitely, yeah. No friendship is perfect, and I actually think the ability to work through conflict is a sign of a really mature, strong friendship. Like, if you can have a disagreement, talk it out, and come out the other side closer, that's kind of remarkable.
It really is. And there's a nice phrase for when you resolve a conflict: you make up. To make up with someone means to reconcile, to repair the relationship after a disagreement. Like, we had a big argument last month, but we've made up now.
Make up, yeah. And I think the key to making up is being willing to apologize. Actually apologize, not one of those non apology apologies where you say, "I'm sorry you felt that way." That's not really an apology, right?
And they think empathy is at the heart of all of it. Empathy meaning being able to understand and share the feelings of another person, like putting yourself in their shoes.
Putting yourself in their shoes. Yes, I love that expression. And empathy is kind of the foundation of all of it, I think. Because if you can genuinely understand where someone is coming from, you're going to be more patient, more kind, more forgiving. Okay, so I want to move into the last big topic here: how to actually be a better friend, like practical things. What do you think people can actually do?
Okay, so for me, the first thing is just reach out more. Reach out. That means to contact someone, to initiate communication. I think a lot of people wait for the other person to reach out first, and then both people are waiting and nothing happens and the friendship fades. So just be the one who reaches out.
Yes, reach out first, don't wait. And I'd add to that, be genuinely interested in your friend's life. Like, ask real questions. Not just, how are you, as a greeting, but actually, how are things going with that project at work, or how's your mom doing? Show that you remember things, that you actually paid attention.
That's so simple, but so powerful. Yeah. And I think another thing is be present when you're with them. Put your phone away. I know it sounds obvious, but it's genuinely hard to do these days. And people really notice when you're distracted.
So true. Being present is kind of a gift, honestly. And one last thing I'd say is friendship has to be reciprocal. Reciprocal means it goes both ways. Both people are investing in the relationship. If it's always one person doing all the work, all the reaching out, all the effort, that's not really a healthy friendship. It's sort of one sided.
Reciprocal and one sided, two really useful words there. And I think recognizing when a friendship is one sided is actually really hard because you don't want to admit it, but sometimes it's necessary to be honest with yourself about it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I think we should do a quick vocab recap before we wrap up because we covered a lot of really great words and phrases today. Ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, so today we talked about loyal and loyalty, meaning you stand by someone no matter what. Reliable and trustworthy, someone who keeps their word and deserves your trust. Tactful, being honest but in a kind, careful way.
We also had to feel heard when someone listens and acknowledges your feelings, to validate someone, to make them feel their feelings are accepted. An acquaintance, someone you know casually, not a close friend. Surface level, describing something that isn't very deep.
And the phrasal verbs to drift apart when a friendship slowly fades over time, to fall out, to have a serious disagreement, to make up, to reconcile after a conflict, to check in on someone, to contact them to see how they're doing, and to reach out, to initiate contact with someone.
And don't forget empathy, understanding and sharing another person's feelings. Reciprocal, something that goes both ways, and one sided, when only one person is putting in the effort.
Such a great list. You know, honestly, every time we do an episode like this, I feel like I want to call all my friends and just tell them how much they mean to me.
Right? Same. And I think that's actually the biggest takeaway from today. Don't wait. Tell people you appreciate them. Check in on the friends you haven't spoken to in a while. Be the kind of friend that you wish you had.
I love that. Be the kind of friend you wish you had. That's sort of a beautiful way to end this. Okay, and we always like to leave you with a reflection question, something to think about after the episode. So today's question is,
Think about one friendship in your life that's really important to you and ask yourself, when was the last time I reached out? When was the last time I really showed up for that person? And if it's been a while, maybe today is a good day to change that.
that's such a good one. Okay, that's a wrap for today's episode of Let's Talk Real English. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who's learning English, leave us a review, or just send it to a friend. That actually feels very on brand for today's topic.
Very on brand. And on brand, by the way, means totally in line with your identity or style. I'm Eric. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.
And I'm Lara. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.